Okay, so in the last video we coded up this people.html.erb view, and one thing I forgot to tell you is to add an extra or person dot type position ID equals nil in your else if statement. So in your code it'll probably look like that, and I just want you to add that extra part in that code because a person, their type position ID can actually be nil. So that would this line of code would just cover that case. Now that that's over with, I want you to go to your org companies.js, and I've added some extra JavaScript code. And what you want to do right now probably is you would want to pause the video and add this code. What we have is we have a hash roster, that's an ID, and we have button edit role, and we have button remove roster. Now we're going to talk about each of these functions in a little bit, but I just want to pause the video, copy this code down if you want to work along with me, or you could just download it off the file that I attached to my videos. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to go to your routes because we need to edit this a bit. We need to edit this so that it actually works with the JavaScript code, because what we're doing here is we're actually using AJAX, and what AJAX is, to explain it simply, you're interacting with the the web page, and without refreshing the page it sends a call back to your server to do some sort of action. And in this case we're editing our type position ID of our person. So the URL, the route that it's calling, is org people edit position. Now this doesn't exist in our routes yet, so what we need to do is we need to add it to our routes. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in post, because we're posting an ID and a type position ID to know what to change the type position to. Use a post org people edit position. The controller is of course org people, the function is edit position, and its path is org people edit position, and we probably won't be using the path. But anyways, just save this and restart your server or else it probably won't work. Next thing you want to go to is your org people controller, and we need to write that code, the edit position code. So I want you to do a def edit position, and you need to end it. Let's just give this a comment. So edit position edits a position or role, like the COO, director, store manager, etc. So we're gonna have a variable called person info, and it's going to use the org person model to find by ID. Parameter is going to be the ID, and where do we get the ID? Well, we pass it in via the ID that we get here. And how this ID is retrieved? Well, if you go to your browser and you do inspect element, each one of those rows that shows a person's name has a different ID. So let's just hover over this second row, and let's just hover over the edit role button. So this person has an ID of 5. Now, if you added another person, I don't know if it's here in chief position because we don't have an edit button. I guess not. But if you add another person in your roster and inspect their edit role button, then you'll get another different ID. So that's where we're getting the ID from. Now the position, I believe we're getting it in the same place. Or actually, the position should be retrieved from here. So org person type position ID, right? Because once we click this drop down and we select the position, then that's what goes through. So that's where we are getting our position variable and where we're getting our org person ID. Now going back to our edit position, we still need to finish this code off. So person info dot update because it's an object. We're going to update the person's type position ID with the parameters of our type position ID that we passed in from the JavaScript and with this person's or company ID. So using their ID, we found the right person, and we're going to update their type position ID and their org company ID. I don't think we need the second part. We'll just do it for safety. So if we go back here, refresh the page, and we select the role, let's select regional manager. The page will refresh, and something went wrong here. So if it didn't work for you, try resetting your server, and we'll try it again. So there you go. By resetting the server, our app caught all the changes that we made, and clicking the role would turn this person into a regional manager. And if we click edit role again, let's see what that does. It'll turn it back to a drop down. So it actually wipes that out. And if we go to our database and we check our type position, you actually see that it's null now. So let's select the role again. And it didn't work this one time. Okay, so there's something going on there, but I don't know what. But you can see that, okay, it did change the position ID to 3. So that's that. That's how you change the role and how you use the button to change the role of the of the employee. I want you to take note that because our regional manager is of a lower position than the chief of operations, our code actually runs properly such that we can edit this person. If I wasn't the chief of operations, then we won't be able to edit our regional manager. So I don't know. We could show how that works. We could change this to, let's say, 5 in our database. Let's just apply that change. See what happens here. See, now that he's an employee, well, the employee is of a lesser role than the regional manager, so of course we can't edit their actions, or we can't edit the role of the regional manager because we're of a lower position. Now let's change that back to 1, change him back to the COO, refresh. Now we can edit him again because we're of a higher role. So a pretty cool system we have here to edit the position of the people on our team depending on our own position. Code is not that complex. If you're having some difficulties or you have questions, then please leave your questions and comments in the comment box below. Other than that, you can subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time for the next video on what this remove actually does. So until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.